Give me a hand. Get a hammer or something. It's like halfway.
Okay, lift it up. I'm lifting.
Oh, twisting. Do every one of them.
Okay.
Otherwise it's not.
Quick.
Around the door.
Hurry up.
Okay, it's not clipped.
Yep. Okay, is that gonna hold?
Well, it'll fucking have to, won't it? Okay,
That does not
put
mean-
the gold bit on. What have you brought?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's not going to do anything, is it?
Yeah, look.
Okay, that one.
I had to make do with
No,
what
no,
I
no,
could
that's
find.
good actually. Did anyone see you take it?
Well, I fucking hope not. Not unless there's like cameras in here or something.
Okay, we need to get a lot of water involved. And we're going to need it soon.
Okay.
Did you bring your,
How do you want it?
well, as wet as
Cold? Warm?
tepid, Luke, somewhere in that region?
Have you got anything to put it in?
Well, we can ring it into a lot of flannels.
I never actually asked what you wanted.
Sorry, I thought I saw. Keep an eye on the back of your head. Keep them peeled. Rough and ready. Wins the race. Oh fuck, it's cold.
Oh, it's moist underfoot, that's for sure.
Get it all over. Get an even covering. Not inside of it.
Yeah.
No, I use it.
Let you feel.
It's just going to dry for ages though.
That's alright.
So what are you going to do with it? Slap him round the
Just
big wet
distraction.
face?
I never actually asked what you were going to use the water for.
Well, to cause a distraction.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, I
Fucking
suppose.
idiot. You're fucking dumb. You're going to get us killed. This is mad.
You weren't going to distract him with it empty, were you?
Yeah, I was. Like that Poirot, the big pig thing that makes a balloon sound. Oh, yes. Right now? No, not that much. Put some of it back or you'll... Oh, spit it out!
Flagella.
Alright, pick one.
Mine's silent. You've got the only one.
I've got... No. Get that one. In rhythm.
There's nothing in this. It's an empty jar.
Right.
What's this powder?
Don't lay him here. You can hold this one too.
Flagella.
Flagella Bamini. Flagella Bum.
Just get this is the last bit, okay? And then we're done.
Okay.
Then we can just.
We can go.
I think so. Okay.
Okay, good luck. Careful. Not so loud though. Look, that was even louder.
I thought if we just get it done.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's... Pull off the audio band-aid.
I mean, I know it's late, but.
Yeah.
come
Okay, one more.
on. Okay.
It's almost in and then...
Oh, we're free.
Please! Jesus! Oh, is it in? 3, 2, 1.
Flagella. Flagella Bamini. Flagella Bamor.
Vamos!
What? What did your voice do? I can't tell if you were trying not to laugh or if you were trying to do some
Try not to laugh.
weird accent. You Flagella Bamini.
It's been a big ghost. Okay, this is the one. 4th.
We can do this.
Again, go again, I'm fresh. How many more?
I don't know, like 3.
Okay,
What do you think? Will it hold?
I think so. Come on. One more. God. I mean, if that hasn't done it.
I think that has to be it.
Okay.
Fuck.
So what now? What next?
I think
What's the plan? What's the plan, Deck?
there is no more.
Declan, give me the fucking plan.
Isaac, it's done. That's it.
That's our last
That's the
hurrah.
last one. And now we can just
have-
marvel at the splendour of our new shelf
in our
in our new
flat where we are. Oh, we had them going.
Fucking shut!
necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 151, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm Isaac, back in the big chair, and just over here, sitting there playing with blue tack and a screwdriver like a simpleton boy in preschool. It's Declan D. Lane. How are you?
I'm all right. I've actually rebranded.
Oh, okay.
I haven't rebranded, but I've been rebranded.
Right, by whom?
By two different bosses that I have, who have both.
That's a lot of bosses, may I just remark?
I've got plenty.
Nice.
Don't be gel.
No.
Don't be gel. Be ream.
Well, I don't have any bosses. I'm my own boss, I guess you'd say.
Self-unemployed.
Yeah, that's the one.
Who have both within the last week just called me Duncan.
Duncan Delane, yeah, I can see
Duncan.
it. And maybe that's something that the listenership might like to take into their own lives and into their own kind of future communications with you via twitter.com/Declan.
Yeah, you can get
twitter.com/Declan.
you can
That's
get
where
in
you are.
touch with me, Duncan at shame.city.
Oh, I see how it is.
It's
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, let's get past the elephant in the room. Maybe a whole fleet of elephants in this particular room. Can I get a high
A
five?
real
Yeah.
chorus of pachydermoid mammals.
What are they like? But here we are in the new flat.
Yeah,
We're
it's a
back.
new flat.
We've been
This
busy.
is about as unorthodox as a recording space can get.
Well, yeah, this is us christening it in a way.
Yeah.
You will have heard us christen it in other ways in the intro, where we did a fun skit based on tricking you into thinking it was more Block Switch, which, we'll be honest, we toyed with. We toyed with doing that.
But those of you who are still here,
Yeah.
you will know that was naught but a fun
It
joke.
was very fun. It was very funny as well. But Declan, here we are in the new flat, and it's echoey and it's messy, and I hate it. And how are you getting on?
Sorry, that last bit there.
It's echoey. Well, it's
Yeah,
just because there's not much
messy.
stuff in it, I guess. Yeah.
It's messy.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah, it's fine. Does the job, doesn't it?
You-
Keeps our stuff from falling out into the
said you
mantle.
hate it.
No, I didn't, and I don't hate it. I'm not feeling the vibes there yet. You know
You're
what
not
I
feeling
mean?
the vibes
The
here.
vibes are not present. We moved in, and I think the vibes moved out.
Oh no.
And that's unfortunate.
You're
but-
saying that the people who lived here before, they had the vibes.
I don't know if you met one.
and
of them.
we've spooked them away.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
no.
were vibing big time.
Look, well, I think that there's really no better time of year, certainly for you, to get your sort of vibing mojo back,
this
because
is
it's the spookiest month of all.
Yep, Spooktober is here once again.
Yeah.
Long may they reign.
Of course.
No need to specify who we mean by they, of
Well,
course.
they will have followed us here from the last flat, inevitably.
Absolutely they will. But yeah, I see what you mean. What you're saying is replace all our stuff with Halloween decorations.
I think not even replace. I just think everything
Okay, so
individually
like embellish,
should be
like
embellished with
a
some sort of
baroque
haunting.
kind of ornamentation.
Yeah, I like
would be
that
nice.
idea. Well, because the thing is, we don't have a lot of stuff
Well, that's the end of that
here.
sentence.
So,
And what we do have is tiny TV.
and and yet
Yeah.
it took a lot of time and effort to move
Oh, do you
it
think
all.
so?
Yeah,
I thought it was easy as pie.
easy as pie.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was only 5 consecutive days of toil,
Yep.
of sweat.
Getting up early, going to bed late. You took a lot of time off work.
Well, I had
I just
to.
didn't turn up at my jobs, and no one ever asked. That was good, though. I thought.
Yeah, it was because you hear, don't you, that along with having a child and getting divorced,
I know kidney stones.
I don't often hear that on the list, but
Oh, okay, but I don't know what the list is yet.
of sort of the most stressful things
that's-
you can do as a person.
Kidneys up there.
That is it?
Yeah, kidneys.
Because I don't often hear,
Well, it's because most people die from it.
so they can't tell you just how stressful it was.
Confirmation bias.
That moving house is, and I always thought like, I feel like I've done it a couple times before.
Yeah.
I had a bit of stress once, but wasn't all that bad.
And it's rarely been to do with the moving, I think. It's more to do with like moving to our last place, it was all the admin stuff
Yeah,
that was a nightmare.
yeah, it was.
Touch and go whether we'd be homeless. Because once committed to moving out and yet still not accepted by the place you're moving to, you exist only in a sort of limbo.
On the M25, just praying the email comes through.
Any minute.
And we were only moving, and I, we can't stress this literally.
A spit's throw away.
We were,
a stone's gob down this path. Yeah, I guess that's right.
You didn't have. We weren't moving far.
Yeah,
is what
that's what
Isaac meant to say. Yeah, we're moving across the road in a very literal sense. And I thought, foolish me.
That would be better.
That would alleviate some of the stress, some of the tension, some of the effort.
I guess in an edutainment vein, what we can provide the listeners with this week is it's worse to move very close. It's much, much worse. It's very bad.
It's very bad because if you move long, if you do a long move,
it necessitates a certain approach.
Yeah, and that approach is get big lorry, get big men who have a big lorry,
barely as you like,
to take all your big and small stuff, put it in the big van.
And medium stuff. You always forget.
No, actually, legally, you're in charge of the medium stuff. Yeah.
I guess
and then they put it in the back of the big van, and then they drive it far, and then they get it out at the other end, and often you have to move it in, but what you
That's not the end of the world, is it?
No. Whereas when you're moving short, when you're doing small, like a sort of a little stunted move.
Baby move. You get cocky with the move, I think. You're like, it's not far. I could carry a book there 3,000 times. And that's everything done.
And it's only across the road. And we don't own that much stuff.
No.
Anyway,
we did before we moved. And it was a process. Put it that way.
Maybe we should put this into the form of some lessons.
Okay.
Like 5. We haven't prepared them.
No.
But let's say 5.
Okay. Number 1 is stay put.
Don't move.
Ever.
Don't ever let anyone evict you from your home.
If your landlord says, I'm selling that flat, no. Say no, landlord.
Can we just say...
Squatters' rights.
Like, our landlord... Yeah. I don't like landlords.
As a class.
Yeah, they are.
They're abominable.
Despicable.
They deserve naught but scorn.
Yeah.
Unless any of them want to rent to us at a really
very discounted price. Yeah.
Which they don't.
No, none of them do. And it's across the board. They don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But he was one of the better ones.
Yes. So now we should caveat that with we haven't yet done the whole how much you stealing from our deposit dance.
That's a fight yet to come.
For now, yes, he seemed like a nice guy.
But he, we had a sort of a verbal agreement, an emailed agreement, as it were, between us and the estate agent that we were going to get another year in that flat. And then, you see, I got a job 5 minutes from the front door.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went,
the next day. Well, he heard about that.
He heard about that and he said, you've got to go.
Yeah.
And, he
wants you to branch out.
He was relatively reasonable about the move. He was going to give us to the end of our contract and we were allowed to stay on month to month. But, he was going to let us out early if need be.
I'm scared of staying month to month myself.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like one step away from...
Well, it is.
Well, it is, yeah.
Yeah. But here's the fucking cheeky thing that he did. Was as soon as we said we were going to go, he was like, oh no, don't move, you're so sexy. Please stay.
Please keep paying me thousands of pounds every minute.
We get an email from the estate agent going, here's a quote from the landlord. And he's like, you have to go now.
Guys, we all said some stuff.
I know, I was selling the
is
flat,
a complicated
thing. It's just a
We're good, right? We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Stay put. Stay put.
Please.
You love your room?
Yeah,
you love your free milk.
Goats
and yaks.
Was he going to throw in free milk?
He said goats and yaks. And he did it N apostrophe.
Goats.
Actually, apostrophe N apostrophe.
Goats and yaks.
Yeah, I think it's a business that he runs on the side.
Oh, okay.
With all of our...
You didn't share that because I might have been tempted to stay.
No, it's secret knowledge. And I obviously don't drink of the animal teat. So for me, that would have been unfair for you guys to enjoy that kind of lactose ambrosia.
But you would have benefited from the joy that it brought us.
Were we talking about people who drink straight from the teat recently? We were, weren't we?
What? No.
Or was I telling Matthew
about
it? Well, I was reading. I've gone on this...
Don't ever say, weren't we talking about this? And just in that way, draw me in to your sordid thought crimes.
No, it's not a thought crime.
You can't just say, well, you and I were chatting about a bit of genocide the other day, weren't we? We were just chewing the
about-
fat,
Yeah.
chewing the fat about drinking from the tea.
Well, straight from the tea.
I have not, and indeed will not talk about that.
Let me just fill you in, because this is something everyone needs to know. I've been really interested in the anti-vegan movement of late, and it's in fact something I'd like to talk about on the podcast maybe down the line, because lots of people don't like vegans. I'd say the default is people are annoyed by vegans as a concept.
I don't like you.
No, I know, and that's for other reasons.
Yeah, that's not a vegan
Yeah.
thing. I think that's pretty noble of you,
That's really good.
because you have to not eat the double cheeseburger.
I know, fucking
And then sometimes I'm just eating it there.
I know, and that doesn't help. I'll be honest.
But you're made of stronger stuff.
Yeah, really strong.
Yeah.
Well, not literally, because I don't have
'cause
any,
you've got no
any
protein.
nutrients. That's a joke. You get all your protein you need. Don't spread misinformation on that. It's a shame. Okay?
In a sense, he does, but I would like to say that it's because he sprinkles.
Nooch.
I'm going to say literal fish food
Well, it's nooch.
on top of his food.
That's not actually for protein. That's for your vitamin B12. But look, this is all an aside. The anti-vegan movement, they're very interesting folk. They're uniquely angry about something that will not affect them ever.
Well, hang on a minute. Are they? You say uniquely
Yeah,
angry,
no, I
but
really
like
mean
the
it.
flat Earth people are really angry.
I think they're angrier than flat earthers. I'm going on record as saying that. They're a smaller community than the flat earthers.
Right, small but mighty. You're saying
Mighty is a good word to describe them, because they're jacked
Mighty,
up on
meaty.
mostly raw meat. Yeah.
Right.
They all, to own the vegans, they will just privately enjoy raw meat. And many of them are, not many, a lot of people pretend to be farmers so that they can say like, oh, well, I know where my meat comes from. It's just over there. And it's all good. I put my cow in a jacuzzi every night. We cuddle before bedtime. If something goes awry in the bedroom, then the cow's first on the scene. This sort of thing. But there are some of them who frequently do AMAs who are in fact farm related. And one question that I saw in such an AMA was like, presumably a troll, but maybe not. There was like, when you're out there in the dairy,
yeah.
do you ever like get the urge? Do you ever like just drink some straight out of the cow in the bucket? And the person who replied said, I'll do one better. I, and pretty much every dairy farmer I know,
Not true.
have suckled from the tea.
Not true.
I've tried it from the tea.
It's not true.
They all
They
are
did not.
they're tea
They're not.
drinkers.
They're not.
100%.
They are
They're tea
not.
drinkers. It was corroborated by many other people in the
I
thread.
don't care.
Tea drinkers.
They do not
Just
exist.
for a second, picture the body position you have to contort yourself
That can
in
kill
to
you.
get under a cow and suckle a
Drinking
tea.
milk straight from the cow can kill you.
Yeah, it's full of bacteria. And
Yeah.
pus. No, I know, it's dreadful.
But
But
no,
on the other hand, colostrum. So who's the real winner?
no,
Their
no,
immune systems are hardy.
I'm not accepting this.
They're people who eat raw meat all the time.
But that's different.
But it's not like, what's it called, Wagyu beef or Kobe beef, whatever it's called, where it's
Yeah.
like supposed to be very thin and raw. This is like they just buy a chicken breast and
No one's
chop it
eating.
into their mouth with their
no
teeth.
one's eating raw chicken.
There are pictures of them
breast.
doing it, dangling it in their
No.
mouth by the tendons.
Yeah. Oh, what? And then a video of them eating it raw.
There's a picture on that subreddit
There's
of
a-
someone dangling a chicken breast in
you-
their mouth, holding
yeah.
it by the skin,
Yeah.
and their teeth are already in it.
Yeah.
They've already took a bite.
But they're not actually They're not
They
actually
are.
eating it. No, they're not.
You're so
Isaac,
sheltered, mate. You're blinkered.
You've been
You
fucking
don't know what's
had.
going on out there. Anyway, that's an aside, and I can't remember why we talked about it. Goats
Well-
and yak. So anyway, I don't drink from the teat. I don't drink in the bottle.
Lesson 1 is don't move
Don't
out of
drink
your
from
flat.
the teat. Oh,
Well, and
well,
that.
that's like the corollary.
That wasn't a lesson I thought we'd have to teach on this show.
No, well, it's not one I thought
And
anyone
here we
needed to
are.
know, but that's just a service we provide.
Number 2,
Uh-huh.
and I think 2, they say like first the worst, second the best,
Yeah.
is
Third, the one with the bulletproof vest. Fourth for silver, fifth for gold, sixth for a secret never to be told.
well, that's all right because we don't have a 6th rule
Oh yeah,
because
that's
we're not
true.
telling you.
Cool.
It is whatever you do, wherever you live, whoever you are, whatever your strengths, your weaknesses,
Whatever your story,
your loves, your losses,
your lived experience.
whatever that might be,
Yeah.
get a professional cleaner
Hmm.
to clean your house.
Now that's not because you can't do as good a job, because I wager that we did a good job. The last 48 hours of our tenancy was just one big clean.
It was huge.
I felt sick in my body and teeth.
It was a Herculean effort.
My individual
fact,
teeth, I could feel them being
I
sick.
don't know about you, but there were times during that clean where I thought, if I were having to fight a lion
Yeah.
whose tail was a snake and they were both attacking me,
Yeah.
that would be easier
Than
than getting
dealing with
rid
all-
of some of this shower mold.
Yeah, and because of your teeth as well. That's only going to make it worse.
I personally, I didn't feel the teeth angle, but I know that you're, what with your teeth and your teats,
I
you've
don't
got
have-
a lot on the mind.
Yeah, I only have one of those collections, and I shan't say which.
Yeah. It was strenuous.
Yeah.
Stressful.
It was fun.
It was sweaty.
I hurt my back in ways that will never be repaired.
I had a lot of sweat on the face.
No, I noticed. I kept cleaning behind you like that slug monster in Monsters Inc. Just following you around with some Dettol.
It was just difficult. And the thing is that it's a lot of jobs where you're like, no.
No.
That
Yeah,
was
you
it.
are like that.
You're like,
it's a lot
no.
of jobs where you're like, it can't take that long to clean a room. And in a way it doesn't, but in another way there are certain activities which have a very finite, fixed time. Like that you cannot clean an oven faster than it takes for the magic, dangerous power that is that oven liquid to spew the nastiness away.
Yeah,
And that's 8 hours of your life gone.
I just don't like the fact that every cleaning product says
it's a
like
murder, right?
you'll die. If
What about
this
the one that
touches your
said-
skin, you'll die.
I think it was the other
It was
one
the
that was
other
like,
one, yeah.
it had a list of do's and don'ts, and one of the do's was do not use. It was like, do not use unless you're really sure. That's not a do, is it? That's
It's
a
not.
fucking don't
They've,
by the
they've
back door.
snuck that in. They needed they needed equal do's and don'ts.
Dreadful, isn't it? Real cheeky vibe to that oven pride.
And the worst part of the sort of cleaning was not the actual cleaning themselves, but dealing with the person who comes round to judge your cleaning.
Yeah, the inventory clerk, a very official title for a very official person for whom our life is really in their hands in a very severe way.
And
Because
who
I
did
can't, I don't know about you, let me just check in, let's have a little fiscal chat. A heart to heart.
Okay.
That deposit personally means a lot to me that we get most, if not all of it back. And I mean that in the most kind of life and death way.
Yeah, what I mean is I can't afford to eat food.
Yeah. Even if we called up our old landlord and maybe got a tea every other day,
Yeah.
tea Tuesdays.
Got a little, gack and yak or whatever it was that you said.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't that.
No.
It was goats.
Okay.
I think we're getting none of our deposit back, probably.
You think none?
I think very little. I think
What
really
What do you
not much.
think they are going to take away from it for?
Well, there was a lot of walls, and here's the thing, a lot of them damaged. But not in an irreparable way. I think we did our best with most of them. But blue tack, that's bad. That's lesson 2A. Don't put blue tack on anything. It's not a lesson I needed to be taught myself in advance of moving in, having lived in uni accommodation where they do tell you that over and over again. But you can't do anything with blue tack. You can't paint over it. You have to burn the whole flat down to get rid of it.
and you think
that
they're going
can
to
be
charge us for that? All that petrol.
I think we've got this whole scheme going where they're eventually going to... Basically, the landlord asked us, like, in a not very subtle way, but based on another conversation he just threw in, like, so I assume you're getting it professionally cleaned. And for the record, the reason that we didn't is that the quote I got was 500 and something pounds, the first one. The second one was lower, but not much. Like, not in a way that is affordable.
Not affordably lower.
No. So we were like, how? And the agreement did say you don't have to have it professionally cleaned as long as it's like the same standard. The flat wasn't amazingly clean when we got it.
It was not professionally cleaned when we moved in.
If it had
That's
been,
a
it had
fact.
since been fucked with to the point that it was no longer like incredible. Also, they left so much of their shit that spilled out like dust everywhere. Horrid affair. So we cleaned it very, very good and very, very well. However, so when he asked, like, I hope you're having professionally cleaned, I was like, cleaning's booked for Sunday, which was technically true because that was our day to clean.
The day that we had booked ourselves.
And I just think that if they ask us, did you get it professionally clean, we have to say yes, of course, because
Yeah.
otherwise they'll have like a psychological, just a need to nitpick in a way that they wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah.
We will be using my friend Matthew Greensmith's made-up company, Matthew Cleansmith, or Green Clean.
Only made up in the sense that all companies are made up. Like
Yeah,
Facebook's
exactly.
made up.
Like, he could be a cleaner. And
Yeah.
if this gets played in court, he is.
He does
He
clean.
is and was.
Yeah, he does clean
He's
and
a
did
really
clean.
sanitary chap, is Matthew. You should see him wash up. Professional job.
Really?
It is, every
that's
time.
good to know.
So I guess we have to play that, but I just don't feel like we should have to manipulate so many elements of the truth just to get the money back, which is ours.
Yeah, it is owed.
It is owed and it is ours.
Because
and
there
it's
is
just
a
been sitting
definite
there.
assumption on the part of all landlords that it's just part of what you pay for the
Yeah.
flat rather than, and you know, we really should stress this, it is called a deposit,
Yeah.
which I don't know if, because you did a sort of English related
Yeah,
degree.
sort of, yeah.
And I did an English degree. And what I know is that the idea of a deposit is that unless there are like real extenuating circumstances, you get that back.
Yes, and that will happen for us. I'm confident of that. And when I was saying before, that was just downheartedness,
Oh, I see.
because now I know we'll get every penny. You can take that to the bank. So lesson 2 is don't worry about the deposit; you'll get it all back.
Oh, was that
regardless
lesson
of what
2?
you do, yeah.
I don't think that was lesson 2 when we started.
Yeah, no, well, sometimes they say you have to work through the lessons to come out with the true lesson. So this is actually lesson true. And that's a little pun on 2 and true. It's about TWRUEO. So just think about that.
Truo.
Lesson 3 is if you've got a very expensive coffee table in your house, don't have it. Don't have that. Because it will only cause you problems. Sub lesson 3 is don't drive ever.
Don't have a
Or
drive.
don't not drive if you have a car.
Yep.
And maybe you can expand on that as driver prime.
Yeah, just was gonna have my car sold. And then the thing about the car was it stopped.
Yeah, it didn't work or move.
Stopped working. And then
We tried all the steps.
because I had like 2 different things. I was like, I'll have it sold, but if not, I'll book like an MOT for it
Yeah.
and get it all sorted so I can drive it over the road.
Well, that's easy, isn't it?
I got it booked, and then I put the key in and it didn't work.
No, it didn't drive.
Didn't work.
And that's really all a car is.
It's all it's supposed to do. And I do want to stress, like I didn't want to drive it far.
No, not to like up and down the country like it has done previously.
No, not all over the world.
Yeah.
I just really wanted it to go out of the garage and up the road and across the road.
Yeah. Or
Turn left
you're getting a bit dicey. That's a lot to ask.
and then down.
How long would it have taken? Like 20, 25 minutes?
It would have taken 37 seconds, I think.
Oh, okay. And the car wouldn't let you.
No, it wasn't keen.
It wouldn't let you. Now, we tried all of those very manly things that you do. I spat at it.
It didn't take kindly to that.
It didn't really react was the problem, and that just won't do it for me. We jumped it.
Yeah, we jump started it.
Yeah.
William helped us jump start
Yeah.
it. That was nice.
Very good.
And it was
nice.
good and it worked and it came back to life.
Yeah, and it drove. It drove out of
Let me
space.
tell you, it
It
drove.
reversed out and then it stopped.
It reversed out and then it died
And there was
very
a good
like
bit
slowly
where-
in stages, like Hal.
Yeah, where we had to push it back into the space, and you were.
Yeah, so we had to push it back into the space, but the space is between a huge concrete column.
The kind of column that says, "If your car touches me, I'll
car
crush,
will lose."
I'll crush the big car."
And then the sports car in the next bay.
The kind of sports car that says, "If, however,
you touch me, I will crumple like a little bitch, and I will
I'll
drain
make your coffee
you."
table look like a plank."
So we had to. William and Isaac were pushing it.
Yeah,
And I had to steer, but you see, the thing is it's normally a car that has power steering.
because it's big, isn't it? Big company.
It's a big car, and then when it doesn't have power steering, you have to turn it all by your lonesome.
You have to have power arms.
It's like steering a ship because it's as much effort and it turns as slowly. But by fucking God, we got that bastard back
did.
in there.
It was a day, a couple of days, as you kept describing, of small victories, which had a cumulative defeat to them.
Yeah,
Everything was like, oh, we can get it just here, and we would, and then that also didn't work.
It was the living example, as I said as well, of the Onion article.
Yeah.
Man who thought he'd lost all hope loses additional piece of hope he didn't know he had.
Did he?
Because I was like, yeah, MOT, fine. Oh, car's not working. We can jump start the car. Great.
That'd
Jump
be
start it. It works. Oh no, now it's dead. Next stage was battery charger. Perfect.
And William just happened to have car battery chargers in his car. Like, it's not the kind of thing that you carry all the time. I don't think he'd ever used it.
Nope, just happened to have it with him.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the battery out.
No.
Didn't have the tools.
And not even just the tools. It was just also situated in a very
awkward. So very, very awkward.
Almost like the car didn't want you to remove it.
It did not.
It was its heart.
Yeah, it did not want it to
soul.
go. It was a bit like that, yeah.
About.
Wow. And it wasn't going to let go of that soul.
Not without a fight.
But what I did do was yank.
Yanked that soul.
We got the tool, and I spent a good 40 minutes in there unscrewing and then lifting and trying to lift.
Heavy,
and
isn't
then
it, a car battery?
It's, let me tell you, the heaviest thing known to
Full
man.
of juice.
You didn't know that, but it was. It's heavier than anything.
That's
and
less than 2A.
then Isaac was like, let's leave it. Let's not pull it out. Quite sensibly, and he went back upstairs. But let me tell you, was having one of the worst days ever.
Yeah, I thought you would have another go at it.
So I had another go, and I got that motherfucker out.
I guess what we should just reverse, like if you were sliding doorsing it, or not even that, if we were just cutting between our perspectives, you'd have seen that when I had that little like, right, we're just going to leave it, I'd have gone inside and had a wry smile where I was like,
he's going to go again.
And I like wrote in my notebook, like, you got this, kid. And then I just threw that away. But
that's why you didn't show it to me when I came back upstairs.
I'd thrown it away,
that's fair. That's fair enough.
Because I always do that.
So I got it out.
Yeah.
And I closed the bonnet. And
when you came up, you looked like a lunatic.
Yeah, I think so.
Covered in oil.
I was covered in oil
sweat
and sweat, and my
breathing like this.
And my hair was asunder, and the beard was big, and I was like, "It's going to work."
Yeah.
And it is going to work.
And we had also that day been told a story about how car batteries will explode and kill you.
Well, it was a story about a very old man using a very old battery and a very old battery charger who sort of plonked it down on the ground to break it up.
The idea was kind of poetically
The seed was sown.
In a sense, in the way that you would if you were writing a story called "The Day My Farm Blew Up in a Battery Accident." It was like perfect act one.
You've really buried the lead there with that story. So got it upstairs, got it in a box safely, got the battery charger out, got that ready. Reading through the instructions seemed all right, and then
do's and don'ts.
last line.
Do not ever.
Last line of the battery was if it's flat from disuse, which I mean it was, but also like I have gone down like a couple times each month to like pull it out and drive it around the like garage a couple times, put it back in.
Yeah. Just rub the gear stick.
It's just this time. They decided if it's flat from disuse, do not do this or you could die. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
And not just you, but also the dangers that it explained were so profound and so environmental. It said we had tales of noxious gas being just eking out of it.
It was a real like. They use all the scary symbols, skull and crossbones, dead upside down fish.
It seemed to suggest that we should both charge it overnight, but also check in on it every 5 minutes, like a brand new infant life. And otherwise it would get a gas.
A brand new infant life that, if left unattended, could at any minute
take the
building down.
Yeah, we've got the same cladding that was used in Grenfell Tower in that building.
So
and they were supposed to change. You may have noticed that they took a little cross section out, old Crabtree Property Management, after Grenfell, because they were supposed to be doing a big check of all the buildings in London.
And they went, that's
said,
Grenfell.
That's cladding. And then everyone was like, "You're gonna check? Oh, it's expensive."
It is.
They were like, "Well, we could change it, but I mean, it is expensive."
To be fair to them, it's expensive.
It is expensive, and you can put a cost on life and safety, and it's however much that cladding is minus about £10.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was the real danger of it blowing up,
and we just mainly for me, it was not the thought of death or even of the building coming down or for anyone's safety, really, including my own. It was more that we'd put so much fucking time into cleaning this flat that if the battery exploded and got plastic lodged in the wall,
super clean. But I'm afraid there's shards everywhere, and it's on fire. And also, I'm dying of gas. His final note that he could leave on the inventory: not very breathable. That would be sad, wouldn't it?
Do you know, no, I don't think it would have affected him.
He seemed impervious to all
He
manner
did
of
seem
things, like a
impervious to
Terminator
it.
vibe.
He also seemed impervious to the fact that we'd cleaned the flat, which is a real shame because they go round muttering into a dictaphone, which Isaac
I
only
find
told me
hilarious.
about an hour before it happened. And frankly, it wasn't enough time to prepare myself.
For a man who wanders into a flat and then mutters to himself.
And I was just sat listening because Isaac had to go at one point to go and get some stuff from our new flat, which I suppose we should just call our flat now.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so I was left alone, which I think was pretty irresponsible of you, given the mood I was in.
Yeah.
And he was just wandering around, and he seemed like a nice enough guy. But then I was like sat there while he sort of wandered around the bathroom, sort of going. They have a weird kind of shorthand that they mutter in for this purpose exactly. I think
it's covered in shit. That was his shorthand.
Yeah.
Felt very clean.
And then he's like checking tap, checking wall, checking mirror, checking. It's like grime around the ring of the tap, and I'm like, you
I've got
motherfucker!
a
I
little
used
side
my
note
own
here as well.
fucking
Yeah.
toothbrush to clean that.
Have you read our new inventory, perchance?
No.
Pearl Adventure. I'm here to say that whoever wrote it, I'm sure they're a lovely inventory clerk, and I'm sure they take great pride in their work, not their word. That's a Freudian slip, because there is a word that they've really latched onto with regards to the state of this flat when we moved in, and it's not one that I've thought of in a while.
Can I guess?
Yeah,
Is it a word pristine?
No, it's not pristine. It's in fact the opposite. It's grubby, which I find so disgusting to read and hear in my head, and indeed to just say.
But I think, the payoff for that is that it does work in our favour.
Yeah. It's all good. I just kind of wish they'd had a different vocabulary choice.
Were they saying someone had put their grubby little mitts all over the place?
Similar sort of vibe, yeah. And
Did they say there's an excess of grub?
They said the grubbiness was off the charts.
There was a dearth of a lack of grub.
Yeah. So what's lesson 3 then? Kill the
lesson 3 was-
Clark. Hitman style. Impersonate them.
Yeah, well, lesson 3 was about not having a car.
Yeah. And lesson
We had to pay some money to have it.
Yeah.
Well, I had to pay some money to have it towed across the road by a man who then did want to take the car off my hands. And in
was a weird bit of luck.
in the immediate instance, I nearly cried on him and was like, yes, take
it
it.
away, I never
And he was preparing to take it when I did have a second thought about it might not be the best time. I might not be in the best place to make this rash decision.
Fair.
But I've got his number still.
Yeah, so maybe tomorrow is a good time to make a rash decision.
Just give him a little
fuck it
quick
off.
text. But yeah, so
So we've got lesson 3, no car. Lesson 4, kill the Clark.
lesson 4 is kill the clerk.
And we're going to spell kill with a C and Clark with a C. And the will have a C in it as well.
Is Clark going to be CLERC?
Yeah, it will.
Oh,
that
cool.
looks a bit like cleric. And then we're getting into a whole religious war,
Kill the religious establishments.
I suppose. So lesson 5, if we could sum up our experience, because we did move successfully, all in all. We had help from every dad that was available.
Every dad, every vehicle.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no,
apart from one,
yours.
apart from one notable exception.
Now that we're moved in, are you feeling settled yet into the new place?
I am, in a sense. Like, I do feel comfortable living here, but I do have a real talent for just being comfortable living basically anywhere.
Like a slug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. My new bed is very comfortable.
Yeah, you said you got a real mattress.
Which is good.
A brand new mattress for you there.
I have already frightened, I'm sure, the neighbours opposite my room, because the sort of first night that we were fully in the flat, I had to rearrange my room, which meant turning the bed, which actually is
out the window.
No, I didn't get the dick.
No, sorry. I thought that's where you were going.
Again, what you've done is you've assumed something that you did in your head,
No, I just thought that would be.
and you just put it onto my person, and I just don't
seems
need
like the kind of
that.
thing that could happen, but carry on.
No, I was topless,
That's indecency. Public.
and the thing about the bed is it doesn't geometrically turn in that space, so it was a lot of huffing and puffing and moving and panting. And I think the word lunatic that you mentioned earlier.
To the outside observer, and maybe if they have a podcast over in, I think, Palmer Court, Gabriel Court,
whatever,
something like that, they will probably be relating now the story of seeing a ginger topless man. I think they'd use the term dicking down on the bed.
Right.
And maybe dicking right down on it through the window, because they don't even be able to see your top half, and they would have assumed, a bit like in American Beauty, that there was some kind of cockery, kind of sub-waist cockery going on.
You're probably like one of my best friends. In fact, you are.
Oh, thanks.
And yeah, you know, I do notice sometimes,
Right.
you know, mostly on the show as well, like in this sort of like public forum,
Yeah.
that there is.
Well, it's not public, is it?
There's a not
Mm.
minimal attempt
Right.
to imply, I suppose, but in an explicit way,
Uh-huh.
that I am
Yeah.
and am flat out always perceived as a monstrous pervert.
At large.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the...
And, you know, it just, what I just wonder is it, you know,
Well, it's a comedy persona that you've got, I guess.
is it,
But that you've seen fit to take into...
well, is that something that you think, or is that something that you,
I don't judge lest I be judged. And
well, no,
they
no,
say
well,
he
you,
without sin cast the first stone, and therefore, I mean, I could cast a stone, but I'm not here to do that. People in glass houses.
because, yeah, like, it just feels like you don't like me.
Oh, no.
and you think I'm,
No, I just think
I'm a
there's
sort of
I think
bait.
there's a funny image that they will have seen, because if you imagine like a Mr. Bean-esque, obviously like a Mr. Bean After Dark kind of vibe, where they can only see from the waist up, you're topless, you're sweating, you're probably screaming a bit, and it would look like you were just thrusting at different angles into the bed.
because I know that you do a sort of, you do an unprecedented volume of forward planning for someone who doesn't have a lot of plans.
Uh-huh.
And it just feels like you are like laying the groundwork for a lot of evidence further down the line that you were, you know, calling out for help or something.
I just say it's helpful to have planted seeds. They
Yeah.
say that a society grows great when you can bask in the shadow of a sex
Allegations.
offender that you've had put behind bars.
Right, but again,
I
you
didn't
see.
say you though.
No, but
That
while
was
talking
legit,
about
that was
this,
the indefinite
you said
article.
like not an accusation, but you just said like a set, like it was an object.
Yeah, like
it
if
was
there
a
could be
fact.
one around.
Right, but there's
It's perfectly legal to fuck your own new mattress. I would maybe disclose it on the inventory when we leave, because it's going to be grubby from spume. But that's on you, I suppose. So
we've got to
what's
do
rule
the-
5 then?
Rule 5 is get yourself some pals,
Yeah.
less likely
to dob you in.
to try. Well, no, it's not the dobbing in because I haven't done anything. Who are less likely to in
implicate.
bad faith.
Oh, look. Well, we're here, aren't we? And this has been a start-stop sort of episode.
I'm taking back this lovely blue tack eye that I made. Little
Keep
initial
blue
for
tack
you.
out of this flat, honestly. It's nothing but a drag.
tack all
Nothing
over your
but a
walls.
curse. It's been a challenge for us, I guess, to find our feet in this new episode, because we haven't recorded in absolutely ages.
No.
And we are sorry about that. We will make it up to you, with October being a really good month. I think, and here's just an off-the-cuff suggestion, these always go down well. Maybe we've got the Spooktacular coming on the 31st itself, the scariest night of the year.
Yep.
Get ready for that. Start making...
God, we
your
haven't even done a
arrangements.
seance in this flat yet.
No, exactly. Well,
Haven't
what
done
I'm
any
thinking
rituals,
is
yeah.
that maybe in the build-up to the Spooktacular, maybe every episode until then, we can just seed some kind of spooky element in. So we'll have a normal episode about maybe this anti-vegan thing. Maybe, I don't know, you could talk us through a defense that you might prepare for anything that could happen. Just anything that could happen.
Right.
Or whatever it's about. But then at the end, we'll get some spooky stuff going to just give it that October vibe. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm on board. But, like, in what way? So, are you just saying...
I might scream.
At the end, we reveal that we were wearing sheets.
Or that we were dead the whole time that we were talking. That would be good. Things like that. Just get some twists in there. Maybe we could talk a bit about the Piglin Beast in the Nether nowadays, that they've got the Piglin Beast and different
Are you
names.
talking
that
about
they come from.
Minecraft on the podcast?
Yeah, something like that. Just
Okay.
because that's quite spooky, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
everyone's squares. That would be scary if that were in the real world. So what I'm saying is bear with us, because October's going to be a big month for TAS. it couldn't be a smaller month than September in the most literal sense. The megabytes we've accounted for in September, almost none. You could store them on a floppy disk, circa 97. Whereas this month, I'm thinking you're going to need to take out a whole new loan for USB drives.
Wow.
And that, you can
That's a lot of content.
Digibank.
The
The Digibank.
The Digibank.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
Cyberbank.
So look, Declan, why don't you, in your poetic way, sum up the lessons that we've provided, maybe reflect on the experiences that we've had and the lessons we've learned, and just put a cherry on top of this return to form that some critics are calling evidence of a 5-star 2019. Over to you, pal.
It's easy when you digest, when you ingest art,
Yeah.
to think of the artists as something other,
Yes.
as something beyond.
Something better,
Yeah, something above.
greater.
Yeah,
Hotter.
than yourself. And I know from DMs that I've received personally, I don't know about you, that this is something that, some of our listeners have struggled
They
with.
see me as a god, for sure.
Yeah, and they see us as something almost like from the beyond, a
Presidential.
different plane of existence.
Like the president of heaven.
Like we're unaffected by the trivialities of mortal man,
True.
which couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, nothing affects Isaac more than his own mortality.
Does fuck me up.
As a man, just a hair's breadth from 30, he's already thinking
Guys,
about
I'm
the grave.
24 or something. I'm in my mid-20s. That's true. That is true.
Yeah,
It's literally true.
yeah,
Back
for a month or so.
Yeah, fuck off.
And I suppose what we're trying to do with this episode and with this show really is to break down that barrier, to dispel that illusion that you might have that we are somehow greater than yourselves, because really we suffer and we stress and we pain just like you.
We do. We're out there suckling direct from the teat, just like you guys. We're down on our knees, milk splashing everywhere, in the beard, coagulating into a kind of tomorrow's treat yogurt over there.
We're using the first person plural pronoun very liberally.
Well, we might, but we might not. Who's to say? All of these things could be true. And just like you, we have to live somewhere. We aren't just in your ears.
No,
We're in our walls.
we do take a physical form here on this mortal coil.
Yeah.
And we need a place in which to store these sacks of bones
And blood.
that we call
And meat.
and the meat
Yeah.
that we call ourselves, and that house these minds and these
and
voices.
teeth and all of it.
Oh, don't forget the teeth and the backs.
Yeah,
Don't forget the spines.
Never would.
Teeth and the nails and the keratin and all of the ugly bits as well.
None of those.
And so really this is us saying to you that we hear you.
We feel you.
We
We feel you, Joanna.
and we know what you're going through, and we're here to say that we're going through it too.
Yeah,
and
it was
if
much
anything,
worse for us
it
'cause
was-
I'm
yeah,
me.
yeah, we had to do it with Isaac,
Yeah.
and he gets very stroppy about things.
Like what?
Well, just now,
Yeah.
yeah, you see, and I get very angry at things.
Yeah. I'm a leader. I noticed that when we moved. I took charge. It was like a platoon. It was like Platoon, the film. And I were the platoon leader. Mr. Platoon. Sergeant Platoon.
Sergeant P. Latoon.
And I led our troop
Yeah,
through the muddy battlefield that
Yeah, it
was.
wasn't. You're right. It wasn't worth trying for anyone else trying to lead. It wasn't worth it.
Well, they wouldn't have been able to, as well.
You wouldn't-
They don't have the breadth of shoulder and experience to man.
It meant more to you.
It meant nothing to me, and that's what makes a great leader. You don't want to be the leader of a club that would let you be a member,
Right.
as Marx said.
And so you do.
I do want to lead. No, I don't want to lead,
Oh,
and therefore
okay.
I do.
A little Freudian.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to lead.
Oh, that's
Sometimes you're thrust into a position of greatness, and you do with it what you can. And what I did was a spectacular logistical display. I'm sure you'll agree. Put it there. Yeah.
No, you did do a very good job in helping us move into this flat, and here we are now.
Yeah.
Safe for at
and
least a
sound.
couple of
Yeah.
months.
Before they kick us right back out.
And once we're out there in the snow, you can bet there's going to be another episode just like this. Only,
Yeah.
get this, potentially more miserable.
You heard it here first. And until that episode, which we call 157, I've been Isaac. You've been...
I've been Declan.
Welcome home, bud. Welcome home.
Cheers, pal.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Necessities, the bare necessities, the bare necessities of life will come to you.